You mentioned that data now goes beyond national borders. The data collected on a citizen in the UK can now be found in China. What effects do you think that's going to have on state relations?
Really good question. One effect is not a desired effect, but cyber wars. So one of the ways in which now we are experiencing that the states are trying to impose their own regulatory boundaries on cyberspace, online space. So when things used to be just flowing back and forth freely, now, for example, what China does and Turkey does and a number of other states and Britain wants to do is to build a digital firewall around countries. So what they do, digital firewall, actually from point of view of censorship, is a scary proposition. And but it is then what it is that they suck up of all the information that's available online, let's say cyberspace, and then build a smaller version of it by filtering out the things that they don't want their citizens to see and know about, a small version, and they provide within their boundaries that small version. Effectively, this is the same thing as, well, we will allow only a certain number of books in our national library, and we're going to have a commission responsible for choosing what books our citizens can read and what books our citizens cannot read. Now, we would find that an absolute violation of our freedom of information, freedom of speech and freedom of thought. But when it comes to the cyberspace, we are allowing it. So I don't know if you noticed or whether this has happened. It happened to me when I was in British Library. Now, this firewall that I mentioned, the smaller version of the net, is also done by companies now. So what you can do if you're a small organization or smallish, let's say British Library, and you don't want all your members to see everything on the net, okay? This is not hypothetical, it happened to me. And what you do is that you branch, the word is, you outsource it to this company, and every time a request made from the computers based in the domain of British Library goes through this company first. And the company delivers the response to the request. Therefore, you censor. So, lo and behold, I'm writing a book on digital citizenship in British Library, and I wanted to look up something that Banksy recently did. Banksy, you know, the graffiti artist. So I just naively clicked on Banksy. This site is not allowed. It's Banksy, right? It's art, it's graffiti. It's not allowed. I became aware that British Library is doing it. And of course, I lodged a complaint, I wrote to them and so on, and they unblocked that. They said, no, this shouldn't happen. But they unblocked just for that request. So they are actually outsourcing. States are doing this, and there's cyber wars now. How you can control information. This is like Orwell 1984 in a cyber version. That's what international relations is happening. And of course, you know all the controversy about whether Russia has had an influence on Brexit referendum, whether Russia has had an influence on American elections, and whether they're having similar effect. So this is really major international relations issue now, that which data should cross borders, who has a right to control them, and who has the means to control them. Major international politics issues nowadays.